And we are back. Welcome back to the Loadout, ladies and gentlemen. I am your new and arguably improved host, Ian John Barker. And I have with me someone even better than myself, if you can believe that, a Pikachu player by the name of ESAM, who's taking the Smash World by storm. ESAM, why don't you say a nice hello to the people at home?
Hello, everyone. How are you doing tonight? Good, that's what I thought. I mean, they're looking at me, so it must be
we
pretty
thought that Richard was the only person with an English accent. ESAM, we're not going to waste any time. We're going to get into the incredibleness that is your career lately, recently getting sponsored, nearly taking down the current god of Smash 4, but we'll get into that a little bit later. First, let's talk a little bit about where things are for you right now. Talk a little bit about how you feel, where you feel you rank in the Smash 4 pantheon, and how you're feeling about Pikachu as a character.
Well, in terms of the character, I actually just released a YouTube video on my top 20 characters, two different videos, from 1 through 10 and 11 through 20. I think Pikachu is second best right now under Sheik because Sheik, like, her neutral game is too good, and then Pikachu has a really good neutral game, can also skip kind of the neutral game a little bit with quick attack, and then has ridiculous combos and the best edge guarding in the game, so he's a very, very potent character. Can also, like, just escape everything with just, like, I'm going to quick attack to the other side of the stage. In terms of my ranking overall, I would say top 5. Like, it's kind of hard to, obviously I'm not number 1 because that's 0. Like, that's not debatable.
Fair enough.
I had, for saying, like, if I had made the bold statement, like, I'm second, I've had pretty mediocre placings for second. I got 7th at Evo and 5th at CEO. Like, that's not second best in the world. So I can't exactly say that yet. I mean, I don't think I was playing particularly well at either of those tournaments, but I mean, results are results. So I got to back it up, let's say at Paragon and things like that. But I would say I'm, comfortable top 5 at this point.
And arguably your results have sort of improved from contest to contest. It feels like you're certainly on an upward trajectory.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, CEO was before Evo, unfortunately, so it was 5th and then 7th, and then up to 2nd at SmashCon, which was super good because I also beat, the current, who people think is the second best in the world, Nairo, twice. So
yeah, there's a lot to hang your hat on, especially at a time when people, would argue that Zero Suit Samus was actually the second best character. But you are proving them wrong. What is it about that character in particular? Is there something different about it in Smash 4 that drew you to play that as opposed to Rosalina or Sheik or just really any other character?
The physics in Brawl and Smash 4 are somewhat similar, and I main Pikachu in Brawl. I was, again, the best Pikachu in the world. I think I was ranked 6th at the end of that, so behind, like, literally just Meta Knight and Ice Climber mains. So I picked him up in Smash 4, and I'm like, ooh, combos. Ooh, kill. Ooh, Thunder does that now. This is going to be so awesome. And then I still play a few different characters, like my secondaries officially would be, like, Samus and Yoshi, which are interesting. I think Yoshi's really good. Samus is kind of but she does fairly well versus Luigi, who I hate playing with Pikachu. So things like that. And just, like, I see the top tiers. I'm just like, I could play Sheik. And Sheik is, obviously the best character at this point with the patch. But, you got to find a character that fits you. You can't just pick the best and just kind of emulate, because emulating will never get you to be the best of your character, because you'll have to figure something out for yourself that pushes you above them, unless you're just, like, your reaction time and, like, your natural ability is just completely better than the other players, Like, you can't walk in going, oh my God, I'm going to copy exactly what this top pro is doing, because then you'll never be as good as them.
Mm-hmm. Certainly. So that being said, what are the characteristics of a good Pikachu player? What are your characteristics that made you decide to pick him up instead of, say, Ice Climbers?
Well, I do play Ice Climbers in Brawl as well. So, haha, but that was more of a matchup thing. I don't know, stemming from my melee background, I kind of just do, like, I don't have completely set out, things. I'm not like, oh, if they DI this way, I'm going to do this move after my up tilt and then do this and this. Like, I don't have, like, a written down formula of everything I'm going to do. I just kind of see it and be like, I feel that it's right a lot of the times, which is how I get a lot of my, not necessarily guaranteed, but, like, my follow-ups of, oh, I'm pretty sure, like, I hate you. You might be able to jump, so I'm just going to predict your jump and throw out the strong move and then kill you. And so, like, you just got to be able to go with the flow and not really just be like, okay, this is exactly the optimal thing all the time. Because, Pikachu has a lot of varied hitboxes and kind of annoying trajectories that make it somewhat annoying to just have to land a very specific one every single time, no matter what percent. And also, like, rage kind of makes it annoying to be like, oh, Well, it's 35 without rage, which means it's what, 28.6% with rage. Like it's, it's kind of annoying to do that.
You talk
So
about how the hitboxes are weird. Are they weird for you as the Pikachu player, or for your opponent as the recipient of your wrath?
I would say both, because, let's say my up air, for example, is the main move that I'm talking about. If it hits within the first half of the move, it sends you one way, and if it's the second half, it sends you like in front of me. So I really have to be able to space myself correctly to get the one that I want. And typically, like, obviously, the longer my move is going, the later it is in, So if they have time to escape it, they might be able to air dodge out. Whereas, let's say the first hitbox, which is worse for comboing, but it can hit them guaranteed combo. So I have to just be like constant risk reward assessments in my head of like, oh, if I get this, I get this huge more, like I get my, up air to falling forward air to grab to everything. But if they air dodge it, I get nothing. And that kind of sucks. But if they're not going to air dodge it, or if they are going to air dodge it, I have to do this up air, which sends them up, but then I don't get anything. And then I might have to just like, like chase them on the ground. So it's just like, he has a lot of little nuances. It's not like, Sheik, where it's like, I'm going to fair, no matter where I hit with fair, it's going to send you the exact same spot, So it's little tricky things that, feel like I've separated myself from the other Pikachus, because I can make those decisions, I feel like, somehow more efficiently. Like I just guess right a lot, honestly.
You're saying it's all luck. I should correct myself earlier, by the way. I'm guessing part of the reason you don't play Ice Climbers in Smash 4 is because they don't exist in Smash 4.
Thank God.
Yeah, thank goodness. The infinite grabs, I know people like the wobbling in Melee quite a bit, but I myself am not a huge fan. I mean, it seems like a cool technique. I'm sure it's not super easy to pull off, but it's just not my cup.
It's pretty easy to pull off.
Is it pretty easy to pull off? Well, you say that as somebody who's played Smash or Ice Climbers for quite some time.
100. I think the rhythm is 100 beats per minute. Just
so once you get that, gotcha.
And you just grab. Like that's all there is. Like there's setups into it, obviously, because you can mash out at lower percents, but like I would never ban it as a TO, because it's like, well, it's Ice Climbers. It's kind of what you get for having the character in the game, but it's pretty easy to pull off. And Ice Climber chain grabs and Brawl were pretty easy as well. So.
Well, thank goodness we don't get to see, at least not the infinite version of the Ice Climber Wobble, which was in Brawl. You discussed a little bit about your playstyle and what goes through your head when you're playing as a Pikachu player. I've noticed that a lot of players in both Melee and Smash who play Pikachu, it's a very fast character. I don't know, is there a faster character in Smash 4?
I don't have like a character list. Like I should have just kept my Wii on or something for questions like this. Fox is really fast.
Mm-hmm.
Fox is an incredibly fast character because a lot of his short hop game is faster. So like he has a general really good dash speed, but then things like his short hop, back air, fast fall, auto cancel, like it puts on a lot of pressure, and you have to react really quickly to it with the rest of everything. For just like his entire arsenal is just like you get so scared and you just kind of out playing against him, you get like choked up and you're like, I don't know what he's gonna do, and so you just end up like flinching a lot. And Pikachu, not necessarily the fastest character in the game, but definitely puts on a lot of pressure because his strings can go like suddenly across the stage and now you're off stage and then I'm going to quick attack you or thunder you because oops, I got it one time in the set. That's one stock out of 4. I win.
Well, and the reason I ask is because what you're describing, at least when you're making decisions on Pikachu, is a great deal of momentary decisions based on a lot of positional things, tech chasing, building up strings, things of that nature. Is that something that you see as an advantage for you as a player? Because I remember watching that match with you against Zero, and pulling those strings out of nowhere was honestly a thing to behold in Smash or even in Melee, to be frank. It was a really impressive combo.
Yeah, the crowd went crazy. Like I remember, I think it was game 2 or game 3 of Winners Finals. I started off with like a 0 to 80% combo, and like every hit I just heard the crowd go like I wanted to look back and just be like, yeah, but I obviously couldn't because I was playing.
When you look back that long against Zero and you lose a stock, I mean.
Yeah, exactly. Like even just like it's like, oh, I took 4. Damn.
Oh, bouncing fish and yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. Like people have just told me, like from playing me, like other people that are like more analytical about the game, they go like, how is your reaction time so good? And I'm just like, is it? I don't know. It's, obviously like I have no point of reference for a different reaction time because I can't see the game in anyone else's eyes but my own. So I'm always like, I do these things and they're like, how did you react to that? I'm like, I just did. I don't know. I don't.
You
I
know,
don't know.
I could easily invoke a reference to Mango actually, because when you watch Mango play, for example, he seems to
Yeah.
string things together based on a series of decisions, sort of going through that mental flowchart at a speed that really nobody else, I don't think, has been able to match. At least in my experience watching Smash, Mango at his prime could sort of string together the kind of decisions that
Yeah.
you
He would
do.
just zero to death people. Just.
Yeah, and you would watch the tech chases, you would watch the positional decisions, and it all happened so fast. And so
And the raw reads too.
and they they were all reads,
Just
which
like as the Hungrybox up smash at Evo, everyone knows what I'm talking about.
yeah,
Just like the oh, you're gonna be the up smash this way roll.
yep,
Oh,
yeah,
why'd he do that?
filthy stuff. And yet your play in Smash Four is sort of, you know, it's early in your career to say this, but sort of reminiscent of the sort of transcendence, I guess you could argue, that we saw from Mango. Even if the polish isn't there to finish off a guy like Zero, we saw in that set against Zero that you did string together a number of critical decisions at a high rate of speed.
Yeah. Unfortunately, things can get to your head when you like kind of, as I'm gonna call it, like you swag out. It's like, oh, I want to do this thing, and there was one pivotal moment, game five, where I hit him with like an up air and I dragged him down onto a platform with a fair, and I'm like, you know
Yep.
what? He's not gonna like. I'm just gonna up smash because that will be cool. And then I could have just grabbed him and got like 20 more percent, but instead he shielded it and I got hit and I lost momentum, which potentially might have led me to losing that set or at least not winning.
Hmm.
Which is unfortunate. So there is that risk. But I mean, even when I played Melee, because I've been playing Smash for 10 years competitively. So like in Melee, I consider I'm not the best Samus because that's who I main because that's why my name is ESAM, Eric Samus.
Hmm.
So like there are better Samuses than me, have been throughout. Like I've never been the number one Samus ever, but I feel like I was always like the coolest looking one because I would just do things that I'm just like, this is gonna happen. Like I just have the most like random reads sometimes. Like this is gonna happen exactly at this moment, boom, and they'd be like, how did you guess that? I'm like, I don't know. I just felt it.
Is
And
that
so I get
something
like
that
ridiculous
contributes?
strings like throughout all my characters.
Is that something that contributes to your? I mean, as we spoke about before the show, you've got an enormous fan base. Do you think that contributes to it, the fact that you're both technically proficient and there's a certain element of style to it? I mean, it's certainly, from an objective spectator standpoint, it's certainly fun to watch you play.
Right. I mean, also, everyone's always wants to see like the different top tiers. Like, after a while, like Sheik to me, like I watch Sheik and I'm still excited because I like enjoy the nuances of the game. Like I even like Meta Knight Dittos back in Brawl. Like, Esam, don't say that Meta Knight Dittos were the most boring. Like I still enjoyed watching it, but
Yeah.
so everyone wants to see like a new character, and since I'm the only like super top echelon Pikachu, people don't really get it. So it's like, oh my god, we have no idea what's about to happen. Oh my god. And also, stringing 0 to 70s on Zero himself is pretty entertaining, I would say.
I don't think anybody's going to argue with you there. Let's talk about your series of placements a little bit. You went fifth at CEVO, seventh at Evo, and then second at SmashCon.
Yes.
Obviously, stark difference between seventh place and second place. Is there something about your training regimen, some way that you approach the game that elevated your play? Are you doing anything different that sort of puts you in this new echelon of player, to be frank?
I got a better bracket, personally. I mean, I feel like at
So
Evo,
modest.
uh, I mean, I know because I'm very comfortable. Like Nara plays Zero Suit Samus, right?
Hmm.
I'm very comfortable in a matchup. One, because my character has a good matchup versus Zero Suit, and also because my brother, my main training partner, plays Zero Suit Samus. So I'm pretty comfortable with all the ins and outs. Like Nairo was a better Zero Suit Samus, but I still have a huge amount of experience versus it. And so like every national, I'm like, ooh, I wonder if I'm a Nairo side, Zero to win the semifinals. Oh man. Okay, Evo, Zero in semifinals again, Nairo on the other side. I didn't make it to Zero because I lost to Fire Hydrant because surfing Pikachu
Do you
hype.
want to talk about it, champ?
Mhm.
I said, do you want to talk about it, champ?
um, I had pretty like not bad brackets because obviously like if you're a super top level player, you have to be ready to play anyone. But I lost to Zero and Larry Lair at CEO, which is okay. Okay, that's pretty good. Larry also considered I would say top 5 or top 6 in the country. And then at Evo, I lost to Abadongo, which is like I've never played Pac-Man. Like I've played one Pac-Man before, who's infinitely worse. And then Ally, but like, and I don't know. So one, it was brackets. Excuse me. And second, I feel like I don't know. Like I'm as a player, like throughout my entire career, I never really got nervous because there's a story, because this is story time now.
Oh,
So I
let's hear
was
it.
12 or 13. I don't remember which one. 2005, 2004, something like that. I'm at like my second or third Melee tournament. I'm in losers quarterfinals versus this 18-year-old kid, Green Mario, and his whole crew was just like behind him cheering for him. But it goes to game three, and I'm ahead. And so instead of cheering for him, now they start, just, talking crap about me, and I'm 12. And they're yelling, like there are like 20-year-old men like yelling at me right behind me, like right here. And so like I start crying because I'm 12 and what am I gonna do? And I was like, and I pause the game and I'm like, you guys need to shut up. And then like I turn around and keep playing. I lose, but ever since then, I never really had tournament nerves. Like throughout my entire career, it's like, oh, I'm in front of a crowd of how many people, whatever. It's Apex against Japan. Like it was a really huge room at the time. Apex 2012, me versus Kakera. Like the crowd was huge. Everyone was cheering and like so much like anticipation, but it never really bothered me. But then
I suppose you could argue that once you've cried at a tournament, it really can't get much worse than that, right? I mean, and no offense intended, but it's truly, if eat a live toad first thing in the morning, it's the worst thing you'll have to face all day.
Unless I'm just like panic vomit, that'd be probably worse. Just, oh no.
At least it didn't happen on a date, right? And start crying on a date,
But so like at CEO and Evo, this is the second part. Like I felt nervous. I don't like, it was so weird because I like felt it and I'm like, what is this? This is really annoying because I hadn't experienced it in so long. And then I realized, I'm just like, I'm not playing as well as I know I can be. I'm making bad decisions. Why am I like playing like this? I mean, I still placed really well, obviously. I beat DeBuzz at CEO. I took out, Tyrant and SS at Evo, which would be the two main names. But like, I don't know, it just felt off. And then at Super Smash Con, I realized when I was playing, because I was playing more for like, because there was no, I guess I didn't put as much pressure on myself to do well. Like at CEO, I'm like, I'm going to beat Zero. Like, obviously, like I'm clearly going to just beat him. And then I didn't, obviously. But I like put pressure on myself. And then Evo, I'm like, oh, I'm not going to lose because I'm really good. And Pikachu's really good with custom. So there's no way I'm going to lose. And then I got 7th and I'm just like, crap. But then at Super Smash Con, like I didn't really go in with any expectations. I'm like, okay, if I play Zero, I know I'll do decent, but I'm probably not going to win. And then if I play Nairo, I can win, but he's really good. So I don't really mind if I lose to him. And then, DeBuzz, he's really good. I might have to play my team partner MVD. He's beaten me before, so that's okay. If I play like, so, I'm going through all these people in my head and I'm like, I know I can beat them, but I wasn't, being like, I'm going to beat them. So I didn't, if I started losing to them, like games or matches, I wasn't like super nervous. Like you can see in all the sets, besides necessarily against Zero, like me and Nairo were like talking and laughing like the majority of the time. Like it was like, oh, a game happened. It'd be like, oh my God, this is, and we'd both like laugh or do something. But so like I wasn't playing nervous and I was playing really nervous at CEO and Evo. So hopefully those jitters are gone and I can continue to perform, to what I know my potential is.
I know that Hungrybox has spoken before about the times when he actually performs the best are the times when he sort of takes the pressure off himself, when he, stands up, he laughs a little bit, he puts on the shades, he does his whole ritual. Maybe you're just the sort of player who performs better when you have less pressure on yourself, when you haven't invested those emotions into the matchup.
I mean, I guess. I mean, it's just like, again, so since 2005, since that tournament I cried, the only tournament I ever felt a lot of pressure. Like, you get nervous during games, but that's not because like you put pressure on yourself or that was just like, oh my God, I'm game 5 with Zero. Oh my God. So your hands start shaking a little bit.
Yep.
But like other than that type of nerves, like I hadn't felt, any other type of thing for 10 years, it's 2015, the middle of 2015. So I mean, I don't know if I'm a player that does better with higher low expectations, because I would go into nationals for Brawl going like, okay, I'm gonna top 3, and like I would. So I don't know.
Certainly, because you were just that well ranked in the echelon. That makes sense. And honestly, I once again from an objective standpoint, I certainly can't blame you for having a few nerves. Obviously, Smash, both in Melee and Smash 4, both of its forms. Well, there's more forms than that, but the big one, the ones that were present, exactly, the ones that are at the majors. There's a much greater acceptance into the world of esports. You obviously were just sponsored very recently. Is Smash Brothers finally reaching the critical mass where it's being accepted as part of the esports main culture? Is that a transformation that you see happening?
Well, I mean, for me, esports is so weird to me, dude. Like, I just can't believe it's real type of thing. I'm just like, why would people pay money to watch me on my stream?
You're not alone in that.
I'm
Yeah.
like, why? I don't get it. Why would people pay me money to play for them? I don't get it. So, like, to me, because, for me, I'm not planning on having Smash as a career. Like, maybe, I'll have like income, but I'm working, I'm in college right now. I'm trying to get into pharmacy school. So, like, that's my end game, not necessarily I'm going to be esports for 30 years. So, to me, like, it's never been like, I didn't really like research it or do anything that's just like, oh, I need to figure out all these things like in Twitch and all that stuff. Like, I'm probably going to start streaming soon, but that's more because I have one class this semester, so I'll probably be really bored.
Do you want to plug your stream real quick?
I mean, I haven't ever streamed yet, but my Twitch channel is twitch.tv/TrixieSam, like, the Trixie as in the My Little Pony Trixie and or the
of course
Fairly Odd Parents Trixie.
Oh, okay,
mostly the first one.
That reference I get. So with you being picked up by Panda, we've seen Nairo picked up by Team Liquid, TSM locking down, God only knows how many more championships by signing Zero. What's it going to take for us to see? For example, we saw the Dota 2 tournament giving out $18 million. When are we going to see maybe not on that scale, but what's it going to take for Smash 4 to become the next League of Legends, Counter-Strike, or Dota 2? And is that something that you as a Smasher want to see?
I mean, yeah, of course you want to see that. Like, you want to see your game grow because, like, when money's in a game, more people are going to want to play it, more people watch it, more people get invested. Your game grows extremely fast. Like, the reason the meta game of, like, all those games like CSGO and League and Dota and Smite, I guess, somewhat soon, like, the reason they develop so quickly is because there's, like, a huge incentive to get better. Like, the best player in the world, like Zero, out of tournament winnings makes $30,000. Like, I mean, until very recently, where like Evo, he made like 12K, and SmashCon, he made something like 10 or something like that. Something similar. But like, there's not a huge incentive to be like super, super good. Like a year ago, 2 years ago, it's like finally like Melee breaking into Evo was a huge step for Smash Bros in general because it got more of a public eye. It's like, oh man, is this really legit? Maybe we should start putting money. Like Red Bull loves Smash Bros, specifically Melee, because like they'll host salty suites, they give tournaments, they help us. I think it was either Red Bull or Twitch, I don't remember which got us the venue for Apex after that whole debacle of the hotels about to fall apart.
I believe that was Twitch. Yeah.
That was Twitch. Okay. Yep. But so like both of those companies just have a huge amount of faith in us, and I feel like bigger companies just need to, like Twitch and Red Bull are huge companies, but it's not like a Coca-Cola or a McDonald's or something like that. So I don't know. People just have to believe. Because I mean, why don't you believe in these random 20-year-olds that play video games for a living? Like, I don't understand.
Words of wisdom from maybe the hottest up-and-coming player in Smash 4 right now, ESAM. Thank you so much for joining us. You are. I will agree. Little brotherly love. You got any shout-outs or anything you want to give to the camera before you take off?
Oh, am I done? I don't realize I was done. Sorry.
Yeah, man. I think we covered a lot of ground tonight.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I didn't realize how much time passed, actually. Shout outs to my sponsor, Panda Global. Thank you for, believing in me and, helping me travel more, and I'll do all that stuff. Shout outs to the Florida fam, MVD, Nick Riddle, Shaky, all those guys, Ed, True Blue, et cetera, et cetera. Shout outs to everyone on my Twitter, my E-fam is what I call them. Hopefully I'm giving you guys some more content with my YouTube and maybe hopefully my stream. And shout outs to you, Daily Dot, for having me here.
Oh, well, shout outs to you for coming on. It was a pleasure speaking with you. And when that Smash International happens, when Smash is worth $18 million, we'll hope to see ESAM's names in lights.
Hopefully,
Thank you so much.
Hopefully you see it too.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much for coming on, ESAM, and we will talk to you sooner rather than later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And that does it for tonight's loadout. Thank you so much to ESAM and for Richard for coming on the show. I think we had a few laughs, some at my expense. Thank you very much, Twitch chat. But more than anything, we enjoyed talking esports with you folks at home, and we hope that you come back sooner rather than later. If you like the show, check out the follow button. I actually don't know. I'm looking at the monitor. I think it's down there. Follow the Twitch channel. Subscribe to our YouTube. Follow us on Twitter @.esports. Check us out on Facebook, daily.esports. For more content like this, check out the VODs, which should be up tomorrow with the lovely and talented ESAM as well as Richard's show. That's going to do it for us tonight. Thank you so much for watching the loadout. We'll see you later.